Hi everyone, I received a couple of questions about some last minute Canvas questions. I thought instead of just doing this individually for one person, I'll send it to that one person, but I will record it for all of you in case you have those same questions. These are all pretty easy to fix, so it won't take too long to go through these. So question one is, how do I import a Canvas Studio recording into modules or the home page? So keep in mind, to get started with Canvas Studio, you'll want to really interact with this tab here, this dashboard along the side, and it should be second from the bottom that you see your Canvas Studio icon. Anytime you click on that, that's where you can access all the content inside of Canvas Studio. You can record directly here using the record button, either using a screen capture like I'm doing here, or you can actually do just an image of you, a webcam capture basically, or you could do both of those simultaneous, which is kind of nice for tutorials. If you want to add new media, you can click here. So any pre-recorded media, click here and it gets added. Again, go in and adjust your collections based on class name, based on content. If you're teaching a video production class, you could have a collection just for one skill set of video production. You could have another collection for audio skill sets within video production, and so forth. So pretty easy to use. This is your interface to do everything as far as recording videos, uploading. This is your depository. It really takes the place of YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, if you want to check out my video on this subject, you could reach out for the actual address of this, but I have an entire video just on Canvas Studio. I searched here by Canvas, which is going to include everything, but you might check out my Canvas Studio overview video. Again, if you need the web link for that, reach out, or even easier, go to LTCC, teachingandlearning.com, click on the one-pagers at the top, and then go down to this one-pager here, which is all your video Zoom interactive apps, and specifically you'd want to interact with all of these videos here, creating a video, value of video, Canvas Studio. That would be the one to take a look at. So that will get you set up with Canvas Studio. I'm not going to go over that, but as far as adding it to your page in a class, let's go to one of my sample sandbox classes here. We'll go to this one here. Super easy to do. So if I create a new page, again, we really recommend, as a last minute tip before we go live here starting Sunday into Monday, definitely recommend using modules as your structure for your class. It's just an easier roadmap than having undifferentiated pages. The reason you use modules is because you set the architecture. You decide what opens when, you decide the placement, you decide on whether something is published or not. If you do pages, everything is available and it's not going to make sense. The analogy I would use would be, it's like the old days of the card catalog. If you took all the entries in the card catalog to find books and you mixed them all together, and then I said to you, go find your books to write your research paper. No rhyme or reason to that organization. And that's the problem with just using pages undifferentiated, not a part of modules. There's no ability for the student to figure out what to look at. You as an instructor have to go in and publish and unpublish in similar random ways, such that you're probably going to make a mistake if you just use pages. So we do not recommend using pages alone. Pages would be the content that you create, and then the modules would be the architecture that takes that content and puts it into meaningful units or roadmaps that students can navigate. But to go back to this question, let's look at a new page here, and we'll try to add a Canvas Studio video to it. And we'll just call it something here. Again, it's up to you to type in all the text and so forth. So this is super easy to do. And by the way, some of the tools in the Rich Content Editor have changed, and I'm actually looking at them now and forgetting myself. So you're not alone. I got used to the old one like you did, and now the new one is here. So there's a couple different places typically. Let's see if that's true. So under Apps, you could choose Canvas Studio, and your collections will come up. I'll hit cancel. Actually, I want to hit OK. I want to get out of that. So that is place one to go. Go to Tools and Apps. And if that's easier for you, if you do uploading and embedding of images or Play Posit or Canvas Studio YouTube or any other app that you might be using, like all these apps, that's an easy way to find it under Tools. The direct way to get to Canvas Studio is right here. Go to that button and Canvas Studio pops up. All I have to do is click on the video I want. I'll put my FERPA video in here. Now at this point you have some options. You can allow students to download the video. You can allow for comments. I think it's fine. If I were teaching this particular class, I would want my comments to show up. I would hit embed, and that is the extent of it. Keep in mind, if you hit save, you have to go back later and hit save and publish. And usually at the top there, that'll pop up. I hit publish and I'm good to go. It's green. Again, what I'd want to do after this is to go back to my modules, and I want to place that new video page I created. I would want it to be somewhere. And I'm calling this test 45. I think I have so many test modules here. I could add that page here then. I would just go to my pages. And now I'm forgetting, what did we call that? Test Video Canvas Studio. There we go. I add the item. Okay. Now you'll notice right here, I might think I'm done, and I'm actually not done because I haven't published. Think of these as headers, subheadings that you would get in a book if you're reading a textbook. The chapter has, various subheadings, and then they have sections below that. Outline format. If this is not green, if it's grayed out, it is not visible to students even though this is visible. So I want to make sure I hit publish on that. Once I've done that, this is viewable. I can click on Canvas Studio, test Video Canvas Studio, and then the students have access to it. So that should be fine. Question 1, how do I import Canvas Studio recordings into modules or the home page? So if you want to do it as a home page, go back to home. And this is the place I want to interact with. So this is one of these cases where I think it's only found right here as far as your menu. So this is your right menu that has analytics, announcements, course stream, importing, and so forth. So I suppose you could say this is kind of set up, but analytics is not really set up. It's ongoing stuff. But go to this menu on the right and click Choose Homepage. This is where I have a series of choices. I can't choose, obviously, more than one of these. I have to select one. My personal preference is I always choose syllabus and click on that. And then once I do that, as you see here, my syllabus is displayed on the home page. Now, I could also choose an activity stream, which has a combination of things, which would show, I think I never use this one myself. I believe it'd be announcements, calendar dates, and so forth. You could also do all the course modules, or you could do the list of assignments, which typically is the one found at the bottom of your syllabus. For this question, we would want to choose Pages Front Page, and I'd hit Save. Now, the thing to do on this is to remember that we really have to see what exactly is our front page. So let's go back to Choose Home Page, and then I'll click on the Change button. This is where I would make the selection of the page that I want to view as the home page. And there's only one. You can't choose a selection of them. So if I want my test video for Canvas Studio to be that, I'll select it there. I would click that and then go to the right three dots, that particular menu. And then I want to click Use this front page. So let's click that. Now it makes a lot of sense because remember, this used to be our front page and it had the flag. We scroll down and we discover that the front page is now marked with this grayed text. So if I want to change that, I have to come to that menu here, select it on the side, and then go to this menu and choose that as the front page. Now, when I go back home, you'll see that it's now changed to that page that I created with the Canvas Studio video. So very easy to do. Just click Choose Home Page. If you want a specific page, you have to choose it within that menu, as I just showed you there. So I hope that answers the question of how to create a Canvas Studio video page and also how to possibly use that as your front page. The second question is, how do I import images into lectures on pages? And I think this probably means, I'm trying to interpret into lectures. I think this means is you would have a page set up. So let's create a page. And for the person who asked this, if that's not exactly what you mean by lectures, just reach out and I'll try to answer that via email. But let's do this. So let's do a sample lecture. And then maybe what the person is intending is I would have my lecture text here. It would be describing some content area. And then at that point, I want to insert an image just to go back to that question as the person is asking. And in both these cases, we'll be looking at images and then videos, and they're super similar. So again, if you understand Pages and if you get stuck on Pages, do consult my video. Let me get to it the easy way. Go to my Canvas tutorials, one-pager, again, ltccteachingandlearning.com. Click on one-pagers, download the Canvas tutorial, and then you'll want to find here the video on modules and pages. And this, I think, really describes to you the difference between modules and pages, and that sort of almost mandate, we say soft mandate, if you will, where we say we really want you to have modules and not undifferentiated, non-understandable pages in Canvas. So check out this video if you want to learn more about that. And let's go back to our Canvas shell here, and we're going to try to then insert an image. So in this case, it's pretty easy to remember. You can see the image tab here. If I click on that, it allows me to upload or embed an image. Quite a few choices here. So I can upload it from my computer. Click on that. I could drag it and drop it into the window here. I'm just trying to see what I have here. Some random thing. It's my image of my Spotify playlist. So what I would do is I would upload that. It'll take a second depending on the size of the image. And then what it's going to do is automatically put it in there. Okay. There are some other ways to do this if you don't want it to display. If you want to display it only as a file name and then the student would click on it, kind of like you're familiar with your PDF program here in Canvas. I think this is probably fine like this though. I can resize it if I like. With the new editor in Canvas, one of the things I like is there's more intuitive stuff that happens on top of your media, in this case on top of the image. So it's very easy for me to click on this. And then the image options come up. Embed it. Here's the what I was talking about. If I don't want to show the image, click Display as Text link. Opens in new tab. Once I hit Done, then I will have to save that to see what happens, but I'll click on that, and then you'll see that the image will open up in a new tab, just like your PDF viewer. In this case, it actually didn't. There was a little movement there. It actually downloaded it to my computer. So because different operating systems work differently in terms of directly viewing in a browser, different browsers, of course, affect this. I personally don't like that option of clicking on the link. What I would recommend is to go back to this, and your options will come up again. I'm going to either hit link options or remove link. If I hit link options, you'll see it's just allowing me to change the text and the actual link or URL. So what I want to do is remove the link and get back to viewing the image. Now you'll notice once I've done that, it didn't save that image. So I have to go back and redo that. So it's not too bad. I just click on that image icon. I'll go back to clicking on my computer. I'm going to drag, drop this image here. I'm going to then hit, now the thing about this, to be quite honest with you, it's already uploaded, and what I could have done is just gone back to my Files tab at this point and then uploaded the image. But I'm just showing you directly from the image uploader found within the Rich Content Editor. So I'm not going to get into that now, but I'll just allow it to overwrite it, because do I really want a second copy? Probably not. So I'll hit Upload and Embed, and it's done that again for me. If I don't like the sizing of this, I can do primitive resizing of it here. It actually is kind of nice how the text shows me the height and width dimensions of the image. I like that quite a bit that they have that. Click back on image options. You can also adjust your sizing here. You can do custom size, large, medium, small. They don't give you, oh yes they do. So if I want to do a really wonky image aspect ratio, typically it will let me do that. Maybe it's not letting me do that. Typically what would happen in other programs is I could click this icon here, lock and unlock, and I could do a wonky, really bizarre image ratio. It's not letting me do that. So the minute I put in the width or the height, it changes the other one corresponding to make sure it's the same aspect ratio. If any of you have been watching Zack Snyder's reboot or redo rather of Justice League, the whole deal was he filmed that in 4:3, and when you watch it on your TV, it's a little bit strange to see it in that way versus our typical letterbox kind of 16:9 format that we're used to. So this doesn't allow you to adjust these with weird numbers. So you can choose large, medium, extra large, or custom size. I can, again, have two choices here, embed or display text. And then here, I can choose it as a decorative image if I'm not concerned about readers. If I'm concerned about readers, I would, which I should be concerned about readers, but if it's a decorative image, maybe not. But you would just type in what this image is, and that way that anyone is using an assisted reading device, if they don't see the image, it will speak the information specific to that alt tag. So it's always important to have that alt tag in there. We don't have to get into these editing options. Again, I'm not covering all the other aspects of the rich content editor. When you're done with that, hit save. Again, as we've learned, you always have to hit save and publish, or publish at this stage, and then your image is available on a page. That's pretty easy to do. So let's go back to the other question. How do I import videos into lectures on pages? So I'll go back to this and hit edit. We'll use our same content page. Let's delete the image. There's a number of different ways to do this. It really depends on the video that you're using. There's actually, I could think of 3 different ways to do it. One is to embed a video using the embed tool here. User media, course media, upload, record media. If I click user media, it would be files that I have. If I click, and I believe those are not Canvas Studio files. So again, it's going to be a little confusing because there are different ways to do it. If I click course media, it looks like it is also, yeah, these are not in Canvas Studio. These are sort of just as part of that embed tool that we have here, which is separate from Canvas Studio. Canvas Studio is an add-on. And then the third option here is to actually do, and you see I'm missing this because I'm forgetting where these live, upload record media. And this is where I could either bring in a video file or I upload it. Sorry about this, I'm not on Google Chrome, but if I had Google Chrome, it would let me do the recording. So that is where I record it directly in the browser. It saves it as a local file. I recommend not doing that. I recommend going to Canvas Studio. Again, go to Canvas Studio. Do all your recordings inside of Canvas Studio. It's so much easier to save your collections and so forth. Then I will go back to my class, and then I need to go back to, and I fear I didn't save it this time. Let's click on View All Pages. And I did save it. Okay, so we call that lecture. And I'm just going to go in. It still has the image, so I'll remove that because I didn't hit save when we exited. And again, to do Canvas Studio, we'll click on the Canvas Studio icon here or under Tools. It's your choice. This is more direct. I click on Canvas Studio. I click on the video. I hit select. I embed. I make my choices. And once I hit save, that is embedded in that page. And that is ready to go. So that is if you're using your Canvas Studio Media, which I really recommend. It's your best one-stop shop for all things recorded video. I would not use the embed tool because we have a service that we're paying for this additional video service, which is really good. By the way, at this point, if you ever get stuck, you can't exactly select this in the same way as you do an image. And if you get stuck here and you're like, I don't know how to delete this, you're going to have to, it's very strange. You're going to have to almost select it and then hit your delete key and it goes away. So it's not as easy to select it as an image and then hit the delete key. So it's a little bit different format there. So the other options are I could choose media. And again, in answering this question about adding a recording, or rather adding a video, it really kind of depends because the video could come from so many different sources. So it's hard to directly answer that because I'm not sure in the person asking exactly which video. But you have all the services also available under your tools. If I want a YouTube, if I want my Canvas Studio, if I want to use Play Pause It, I could click on any of those. So to go to YouTube, I would simply search for, I've done this before, I'll type anthropology, hit the return key. It's choosing anthropology at Lake Tahoe Community College, which is fine. So that's a video I did. And then I will click embed. I have some choices on the size. We'll choose medium, let's say. And I'll hit the save button. And then my video is embedded on this page. So again, really similar process for embedding images, very similar process for embedding videos, your videos can come from multiple sources. If you want to do Canvas Studio, you click on this icon or this one as we've talked about. If you want to do any kind of media that lives inside your class but not inside of Canvas Studio, which is not recommended personally, I would choose any of these options. And then you can also access most of those with the exception of the embed. Well, let's see, you can embed the image from this menu. Let me see if the video embed comes up as well. I don't think it does, so it's a little confusing there, I guess, because it doesn't appear. But VMO, any of the other video options, Office 365, any of those apps will come up here. So you have some options there as far as how you want to upload images. You'll always click on this icon here. Videos for Canvas Studio, you'll click here, or you'll click on the apps here. For YouTube, you can click on apps as well. So some different options. You could also embed at any time a YouTube video by finding that video, copying the URL, which is typically found here, or if you're on the play page, this is my user page. If you're on the play page, it's found in the share corner here. Hit copy. Once you copy that, you would go back to your page, and you could either do that, hit return, and it'll just populate that with a not as nice looking icon, I would say, of that image. Thumbnail, if you will, thumbnail of the video. The more complicated way that makes it look a little nicer is you can click on the share button and click on the embed HTML code. Hit the copy button, it copies it to your clipboard. Go back to your page, which is found at the bottom here, and I would insert that HTML code, hit save, cross our fingers that it'll work, and indeed it did. So it looks a little nicer. Again, the easier way to do that is you could just get the straight URL, don't mess with the HTML code, and then cut and paste it there, hit the return key, it'll give that hyperlink and you're good to go. So I hope that helps. Looking at these 3 questions today: importing Canvas Studio recording into modules or the home page, importing images into lectures, and also videos into lectures. If you have other questions, you can reach out. I'm kind of going offline here for a bit. I'm not really going to be working this weekend. I'm prepping for some surgery, trying to get some housework done that's going to take me out of commission for at least 7 days, maybe longer. Again, next week, I think Treva's been gone over break, so Treva, again, is your go-to Canvas person. I'm happy to help when I can, but next week I cannot with my surgery. I will be out and I will not be able to talk or anything like that. So please reach out to Treva starting on April 5th, and that should run through all the way the next Monday, April 12th. If that changes, I will let you know, but thanks for your understanding. And again, this weekend, I need to take some time for myself and get some housework done and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'm going to be essentially offline and not able to answer a ton of questions. So hit me up the rest of today on Friday if you have some questions. Okay, I'll talk to you all soon.